Most boys dream of becoming King's Guard. It's a foolish dream, given that most of them will never even hold a sword. If they're lucky, that is. They're just peasant boys who spend their days in the fields and their nights with grumbling bellies. Blame the singers for their silly songs of knights and maidens and honor. The naivete and fluff these tales engender in the young is to be marveled at. I nurtured a different dream. Knighthood, tourneys, glory, these things meant little and less to me. I yearned for something greater. Dragons. Truth be told, this is an even greater folly, an impossible dream. For what man of my birth could ever hope to rise to such heights? Generations ago, Aegon the Conqueror landed his men and dragons on Westeros' shore. In 2 years' time, all the kingdoms, save Donay, will yield their lands and titles, kneeling before his might to proclaim him as king and overlord. In the years since, the peoples of the Seven Kingdoms have grown somewhat accustomed to the Targaryens and their fantastic beasts. Those in King's Landing no longer shy away from the shadows of dragons flying overhead. Some are even proud of the dragon pit, of the roars that sometimes echo throughout the city at night. Is it any wonder then that a boy like me, bastard born no less, could nurse a longing for dragons and flight? As I grew older, reality encroached upon my dreams. They changed, morphed into something more palatable. I now desired to join the Order of Dragon Keepers. They are the caretakers of the dragons, protectors of the pit. There is no treasure in the world greater than a dragon's egg, and many fools have sought to enrich themselves by stealing one away, to their peril. Garbed in monastic robes, the keepers revel in their grasp of Valyrian custom, seeking to ape its lost glory. But that is not all. They are also warriors of great renown, though they do not play at tourney games. At that time, I served as a squire to a succession of minor lordlings, and whenever I had to stable their horses or run some inconsequential errand, I would envision the greatest stable in the world, the Dragon Pit. I would imagine a room below ground, bare stone gleaming from the light of a dozen fires and hot coals. See the dragon's eggs, scales shimmering with alien luster as they bathed in the heat. Almost I could smell sulfur and brimstone and snake, dragon musk. Ultimately, all dreams fade upon waking. They are wisps of succor, a surrogate balm to ambitions that, like as not, will never be sated. Faced with the cold light of day, they must fade away, mislike. And yet, I sense an opportunity. Bastardy is accursed all throughout Westeros. They say treachery runs in our veins. For one of such birth, there is very little chance of making something of oneself. The gods themselves look down upon these natural-born children, walking banners of their parents' lust and shame. I was born and whelped at Dragonstone, a dragon seed, as they name those of us sired by Targaryen lords. Queen Alysanne is said to have abolished the right of the first night, but what fishwife would dare turn down the advances of a prince, especially a Targaryen, whose blood runs hot as their dragons, sprinkled with a bit of madness? My status gave me more leverage than the average bastard, but even with that, there never has been much of a place for me in the world. But now, word comes down from Dragonstone. Heralds proclaim that all dragon seeds are welcome to try and claim their own dragons. It seems the blacks are in need of more men, more dragon riders. They're keen to replenish their numbers, and if Prince Jacaerys' decree is true, it will not be easy. I've heard the tales. Despite appearances, dragons can never truly be tamed. Many a questing lord has been engulfed in flame while trying to claim their own beast. Still, imagine it, the wind whipping by as the beast slices through the air. The ground stretching below, all the castles and might of men seeming no greater than anthills. The pure exhilaration of being buckled to such might, fire-made flesh, rolls of uncoiled potential encased within iron scales. Gods, that could be mine. It is said that an Arryn boy once forsook his crown and right to rule for a mere ride upon Vhagar's back. And even such a steep price pales in comparison to the true value of a dragon of one's own. Well, then, it is decided. No matter the cost, I will pay it. One of those dragons will be mine.